Okay, good afternoon once again, and welcome to another episode of It's Your Money. I'm your host, Antonio Sturgas. And a disclaimer, as usual, I'm not your attorney, I'm not your accountant. If you need legal help, seek your own counsel. And if you need financial help, you got to go to a CPA. Don't listen to a word I say. You're going to lose everything. Withstanding that, I want to share with you my own personal EIDL loan advance update. So I applied for the EIDL 6 months working capital. I was approved. A month later, they came out with the 24 months working capital, and I was denied, which doesn't make much sense because you just gave me the 6 months working capital. And it was for unverified information. And you can go back and listen to the other videos on how that happened. Basically, the loan officer that was handling my case explained to me that she did not know what to do. And the issue was the 4506T form in which you go, the SBA requests your 2019 tax transcripts from the IRS. However, it seems like an easy thing to do, but if the IRS is behind in processing your 2019 tax returns, it's going to be hard to get the transcripts. So I found out a little hack where I went to the IRS. I submitted my tax returns to them. They stamped them, and I used those, the stamped tax returns from the IRS. So the loan officer couldn't understand how you could do that. Well, you can't do that. You can't do that. Well, in reconsideration, you can do that. And it should be the one hand should be talking to the other hand, as they say. But anyway, when I applied for the 24 months working capital, the same issue that came up with the 6 months working capital, the 4506T, these tax transcripts. So I got a decline letter. And in the decline letter, it said that you could email your request for reconsideration or mail it in. Most people, they don't mail it in. I do. Do them both, if you see in one of my last videos. But anyway, I was declined on July 2nd. On July 2nd. Today is August 11th. So I call every week to find out what the status is. But I called yesterday. And again, and this just comes to my point, ladies and gentlemen. When I called, I asked the SBA loan officer 2 questions. And when I was speaking to the agent, there was like rumbling in the background. And I'm like, wow, there's a problem with the phone line here. Are you doing something on your phone? There's rumbling in the background. It's hard to hear you. I asked 2 questions. Number 1, have you received the tax transcript from the 4506T request that I submitted at least 5 times in the last 90 days? The second question was, what is the status of my EIDL 24 months working capital reconsideration request? 2 questions. Now, before she can answer these questions, suddenly I hear in the background, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, mommy." I kid you not. Mommy, 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 mommy. Now, I'm an understanding guy. She's probably a single mom, doesn't have daycare, doing the best she can. And she's talking to me. She goes, well, as I'm looking at the computer, and she's trying to push the daughter away, and I can hear her calling to someone to get the young child. Okay? As I'm talking to her, she's trying to deal with her child. I kid you not. I'm talking to the agent, and she's dealing with her child. And she's talking to me, and she's saying, well, the computer says, I'm looking at the notes here. and I can tell she's trying to deal with her child. And so she gives me some information. And I write the information down because I also record the phone calls. I record the phone calls when I call the SBA. So if I have an issue, I can just replay the phone call. And she gave me some facts. And then when I asked her the questions again for clarity, she gave me different facts. So this is my point. The SBA is overwhelmed. Anytime you call the SBA and you're speaking with the agent and there's noise, funny noise in the background, and all of a sudden you hear, "Mommy, mommy," that's an issue. That means you're overwhelmed, you're hiring unqualified people, and bad circumstances. Now, again, she's a single mom. She's doing the best that she can, and I'm all for that. I'm not mad at her. But you're putting them in positions to fail. My point being this. The SBA is overwhelmed. They're hiring third-party people, and which proves my point. You just can't sit there and just wait for something to happen. And this is one of the reasons why I was declined. And this is one of the reasons why many of you were declined. Not because you didn't qualify, is because you have people that aren't experienced, aren't qualified, and are put in situations to fail where you're calling an SBA agent and you hear, "Mommy, mommy, mommy." I forgot the cartoon character. They couldn't get it on the TV. I swear to God, I mean, I'm listening to this, and she's trying to play it off like she's saying, I'm looking at the computer, et cetera, et cetera. So she did clarify that my request for reconsideration was finally received by email. I got declined on July 2nd. My request was finally received from the email queue on the 30th. So it takes at least 30 days for them to get your request, to acknowledge your request, not process it, just acknowledge your request from the email. Now, how long does it take for it to get processed? Which I continue to ask her. Well, it could take up to several more weeks. They haven't, well, no, let me recant that. She said that she doesn't know. What she does know, that 30 days later, they're acknowledging that they got my request. They received my request. They're acknowledging that they got it 30 days. So we know it takes 30 days for them to acknowledge that they received your request via email. Now, how many days from the 30 does it take for them to process and act on it? She doesn't know. But she told me, in her opinion, hypothetical opinion, that she's seen it take up to 7 weeks before they start to process. So that's what's going on. However, 30 days to acknowledge your reconsideration and up to 7 weeks to start the process, let's say 2.5 months, that's better than 6 months. They're getting a little better. And that is why I keep telling you, if you get a decline letter, just don't email it in. Mail it in. Email and mail it in. Now, I already know that they received my letter, my certified letter, because I called again and got another SBA agent, but this one had an attitude. And she clearly told me, yes, we got your email request, we got your phone calls noted on the computer, and we got your certified letters. So there, it is what it is. I just can't sit here like Joe Blow and just wait for the wind to blow. No, she told me with an attitude, clearly, we got your certified mail request, and they'll be responding to that. So I encourage you, if you are waiting for a reconsideration, to also mail your reconsideration request. Mail it in certified mail. They have to respond to you. And again, the people in my business group, they are getting response via, they get a letter in the mail that tells them to call this number, and they're put in contact with a loan officer. Or the loan officer calls them and says, we received your certified letter, request for reconsideration. So I'm giving you an update because people ask me what's going on in my scenario. That's what's going on. And hey, keep fighting. Don't give up. Don't quit. I don't care how long it takes. Don't give up. See you in the next episode.